Hi guys, how's it going? So Scrap Mechanic has just had an update, so we're going to start a new survival world and see what has changed. They've changed a lot to do with the mod support, but this is what happens when you load in a brand new survival game. You get this neat little, I don't know, cutscene kind of cinematographic thing as you zoom to the spaceship. So I guess this is showing off the new camera controls that are coming eventually, and then you join your mechanic and straight away you're in. Now I don't know if you can see, straight away it doesn't feel like there's too much, but when you first load up the game, visually you might see a few things that are different, and that's because they've changed the particle system. So I imagine things like the smoke and the embers and all this kind of stuff has changed slightly. Something that you might not see straight away on the right hand side of our screen, if I look towards the floor for example, on the right hand side of our screen we have a find bucket piece of text. Now looky, we've got a bucket symbol over here. What this is the new tutorial quest that is in the game. So we want to pick up the bucket, and then it says fill the bucket, so we go over to the water. It doesn't tell you how to fill the bucket, but it does if you pull it out. So we fill our bucket. Now it's telling us we've got to put out the fire. Handy little indication of where that fire might be. So we'll just trot ourselves up there, and all of a sudden as we get closer we get these three indications. So you can throw that out there and it's like, okay, we'll go fill the bucket up again and go do this backwards, forwards. So there is a slight little tutorial that we've got right here. I must say, first things that I noticed straight away, sometimes when I start a new game, I don't know why, but I used to have quite a bit of lag, and this has been pretty smooth. It's pretty lag free. Okay, and now we've got to find master battery. So it highlights the master battery is over there. What is this? You can pick this up. Make sure you place it onto a lift to activate it. Okay. So we've got to place our lift. Tells us up and down what to do. And straight away, it would seem that I have lost that little book. Great start. Okay. Okay, so we started a new game. We've got a little bit of tact. So we've got to put the lift down. And then we pick this up. And then it says put this on a lift. Ah, there you go. So this is the new kind of tutorial build rig that it tells you that we need to do. And this is going to help us build a few things. That is pretty sweet. It tells you right here on the left hand side again. Place blocks in the highlighted area. You can rotate blocks and parts by pressing Q. How cool. At 10 blocks. Is this going to allow me to put anything here? We're just a few blocks short. So they are saying that there's better debris optimization. There's a new debris system, or debris. So things like cracking these crates open, the way that this sort of system works is slightly different. And I do feel that at the minute it does seem to run a bit smoother. The colours seem to be a little bit more vivid as well, and things visually, to me at least, seem to be that little bit better. It does genuinely feel a lot smoother than it does do. I'm usually quite jerky and laggy around this point. I must admit that I do have a fairly reasonable PC, so to be able to run around here quite smooth is pretty good. I do kind of wish, and it probably will happen to be fair, this is just in the test. So the quest that we do have on the right hand side, in my opinion, needs to have some sort of, I don't know, bubble or mark around it to make it look more important. And I imagine it will when the time comes. I imagine it will. It won't just be there as little text that's kind of stuffed to the side. I think it will be something that's a little bit more obvious to read and to see. It'll jump out as a quest, as something to do. But it's interesting to see that we do have the logbook straight away, and it's not something that we had to pick up from the ship. So if I grab the battery, it says activate the ship. Awesome. There's a little bit more foliage there. That's interesting. That's kind of new. Never seen that before. It wiggles a bit. Apparently they do say in the notes, this update, that coming soon, good old favourite words that we like to hear, is going to be foliage cutting. So we might have some way to reduce those pesky trees that we don't really have any collision with. There might be a way to cut them eventually. So if we go in here, pop through there. Master battery, we've got one of those. Put that up, put that in, boom. Download intel. Okay, so if we go over to this, we can use this. Quest complete. As simple as that. Now obviously it's telling us to find the mechanic station. So when we're going on about foliage cutting, I'm hoping that there's going to be something that we can do to these things. Although these are new, like the visual of these foliage is slightly different. Hopefully when it says coming soon as a foliage cutter, it means that we will be able to cut this stuff down. We also have, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there is new audio. It sounds like crickets. suppose we should check out the particle system. Flowers plop out nicely. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Just get rid of this little sim gun. And what about if we break the wax? Okay. Again, nothing too crazy. There's a little plop and explosion as it opens, but it's all a little bit new, it's a little bit fancy. Corn. Yeah, everything's got like a little particle system when you break it open. It's different. It's, you know, slightly tweaking the visual. We just head to the mechanic station. We know it should be around here somewhere. We'll take a right. Well, that's an interesting road. So they still haven't really looked at those kind of things. A great place for a first-time buggy. They're saying that there is visual shader improvements and there is lighting improvements. Lighting improvements could be good, especially at night. If anybody does any streaming, or depending on how you got your setup, really. You know that if it gets dark in Scrap Mechanic, it can get really dark, which can be a little bit too much sometimes. But we definitely do have some more audio. There's audio that I've never heard before. You get some birds and this kind of thing, like tweeting away and things like this. Something different. So this is a mechanic station. Find the master battery, and again it's linked us to where we know it's going to be. Visually, I don't notice anything changed too much with this play. I just think the colours just seem a little bit sharper, just seem a little bit more on point, as it were. Fight this bad boy. Ah, you devil, he hurts. There we go. Gotcha. Took a few hits there, but we're alright. Pick that up, and we'll go load in the master battery and see what is the next little quest that it tells us to do. Use the master battery. Boom, boom, boom. Place the battery. Quest complete! Okay, and so far that is it, by the looks of it, in terms of tutorial quests. Crash ship. Mechanic station. Seems to be all it is. So what we're going to do is just going to sit and chill as the sun goes down. I think this might be a good place to do it, actually, because we'll see the light of the mechanic station and we'll also see the light of the background changing. I'll just time-lapse this so you guys don't have to sit here too much. Now I got a little bit darker. It's not too bad. So light is pretty nice now. And just to let everybody know, I do have my settings turned up to max on everything. So it's pretty good. I will say at night, so far it doesn't have this horrible darkness to it. That's my logbook, but for whatever reason it's not showing me what I want it to show me. And I can't actually get out of it. We'll get the handbook out, swap the books in the hand, bring the logbook back up. There we go. Now 9 PM, and the sky is dark to me on my screen. It's like a blue colour, but everywhere else still holds its colour. It's still got that vivid tones to it. Still looks pretty good. In terms of major changes, it's just the particle effect that people may or may not notice too much. So let's go hack down a tree, see if there's any sort of difference in this change. Not really. Nothing that you're going to be overly excited for anyway, but I guess if they're reworking the particle system, it's going to be interesting for what they do actually bring into the game. Likewise, if there's a new debris optimization, I suppose that'll be for the underground that comes in Chapter 2. There is a lot of world editing tools that have been added. So anybody who wants to get creative for the masses that you can upload to Steam, that'll be your domain there. We've got multiplayer join settings have added. So I don't know what that means without somebody joining. There's a few little tweaks here and there. Tutorial quests added to survival mode. And the builder guide part added to survival mode, which we saw way back there on the lift. Pretty cool. Other than that, it is advised that if you are going to look at this, you start a new world because it's not very compatible with your existing one. I want to ragdoll myself to see if there is any ragdoll systems change, but I can't even do that. So with it now being 11:30 at night, I'd say this is a lot better. It's still got darkness to it, but there's still, obviously the light is shining pretty well from the surroundings. If we plunge ourselves deep into the forest where it should be pretty dark, visually it's okay, you can manage it. It's not pitch black, you're not squinting, you're not trying to fight through anything. It's actually pretty manageable. Maybe the height of the moon. There's definitely something because there's shadows. There's nothing in the sky to cause any sort of shadows, but we are getting shadows. But there is a visual improvement. For sure there is a visual improvement, and we're happy with that. I must say, even the water looks slightly different. It looks a little bit more watery. Maybe just me. Maybe it's just the texture, but slight improvements. Nothing major just yet. If you do want to go onto this test branch, it is advised you start a new world. They have added a lot of mod support and a lot of new things to allow modders to do a lot more stuff. But at the minute, just a few little tweaks. It runs a little bit smoothly compared to what it was before. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. You take it easy. Bye for now. Bye, everybody.